I wanted to share this video with someone. It's going to help somebody think better and plan better and actually take the right steps. I don't think life is complicated. I think that when we lack wisdom, especially with planning, then life becomes complicated. The purpose of wisdom is to simplify life. The purpose of wisdom is to make your life simple. Jesus, I love structures. Jesus was preaching to 5,000 people in the wilderness, and they were hungry. And his disciples came to them and told Jesus Christ, these people are hungry. We need to send them out. Send them out to go and buy food to eat. And Jesus insisted and said, give me whatever you have here. And a little boy brought his lunch to Christ, 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. And Jesus prayed and blessed the little food, and he multiplied. But Jesus did something that I want to tell you right now. He told his disciples, tell the people to sit down in groups. Partition them, let them sit down in groups of 10. So there is a simplification. Moses was pastoring 3 million people in the wilderness in the book of Exodus. So Moses was a pastor of the Jews, 3 million people. And his father-in-law visited and saw how he was trying to mentor and counsel these 3 million people. And his father-in-law said, no, you are doing it the wrong way. You need to divide this, and you need to simplify this. You need to partition these people and assign leaders over them. I think that when you don't have structure, then your life will be complicated. And I want to measure on a part of structure today. When you start buying what you don't need with the money you don't have to impress people who don't like you, is not a sign of wisdom. It's a sign of foolishness. And there are some of us, you go out and you see the car that somebody is driving, then you come home and put pressure on your spouse to buy you the car because you saw your co-worker or your classmate or your friend, someone in charge, driving a particular car. Now you have to buy the car. Someone invited you for the opening of their house, a new home they bought. Then you go home and you are putting pressure on yourself. I must buy a home. You saw someone putting on a particular cloth or shoe and you say, I must buy this cloth. Am I going to be the only one who doesn't dress well? I must be dressing good. Therefore, you put pressure on yourself. I want to tell you something. Life is not a competition. There's no competition in destiny, right? I said this before. When I was in school, in secondary school back in Nigeria, some of my classmates were coming to school with cars. Some of them were coming to school with motorcycle, we call it motorcycle bikes. And at that time, I couldn't afford, it will shock you, I couldn't afford $1 to even buy water to drink. $1, less than $1 to buy snacks during break. I couldn't afford that. So life is in phases. Now, most of those guys who were coming to school with cars, some of them don't even have a job as I'm talking to you. In my university level back in school in Nigeria too, some people were coming to school with cars, living in better houses in school as students, and parading their father's money per se. Let me tell you something. You have to find a way not to fix your eyes on what somebody else has. That somebody has something should not make you to put pressure on yourself. Put pressure on yourself that you must get it. Now, I'm not against going back to school to get your PhD or to get your master's. But if you are going to school purposely because somebody else is going to school, because you saw that your co-worker got their master's or PhD or doctorate, now you have to go and get it by all means. Even when you're probably it's not yet time for you to do it. Now, let me say this. If whatever desire you have is causing pressure in your marriage, then you are not a wise person. Let me say it. Maybe I should rephrase it. Whatever is your desire, whatever you think you desire, I don't care whether it's a car or a house or whatever, no matter a cloth, whatever it is, whatever you desire as a man or as a woman, if it is causing trouble between you and your spouse, if it's putting pressure on the finances of the family, if it's putting financial pressure on your marriage, causing trouble, making the both of you to quarrel, to have issues. Now, let me put it in another way. Maybe the pressure is coming from your family in Nigeria, in-laws, putting pressure on you, and you know that if you remove this money, it's going to cause trouble between you and your wife or your husband. It's going to be a pressure on your own family. You are still trying to pay your bills, and probably your siblings or your parents are trying to collect money from you, and it's causing trouble for you in your marriage. You need to apply wisdom. You need to ask yourself, what is important to me? What is my priority? You see, the problem with some of us is that we don't have priorities. Don't know what your priority is. Your priority, your number one priority as a human being, apart from God, is your spouse, is your marriage. That's your first priority. So anything outside of that marriage, anything outside of your spouse that is putting pressure on you to do something that you are not planning to do something that is outside of your budget, that thing can wait. As a matter of fact, it's a distraction. It's a distraction to your marriage, and it can destroy your marriage. It can actually mess up your home. So you need to apply wisdom. Apply wisdom. That you go out and you see somebody has something, or maybe someone is telling you, oh, my husband bought this for me, we are moving into a new house. Then you come home and you start disturbing your husband. You must buy a home, you must buy a house. And it's not yet time for him to buy a house. It's not yet time for him to build a house. Probably he's saving money for something else, and you're putting pressure on him to buy you a car. Well, maybe you are not applying wisdom. Maybe you are not applying wisdom. Maybe you value impressing people more than having a peaceful home, because some people, they prefer to impress the public. Their public outlook is more important to them than their marriage. Apply wisdom. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I felt I should share this message. Stop putting pressure on you. Nobody's looking at you. Nobody's looking at you. Nobody cares the clothes. I don't care. Nobody is looking at you to know the clothes you are putting on. I'm telling you, nobody cares to look at you to see the shoes you are putting on. Nobody cares. Honestly speaking, everybody is busy. If you don't know it, people are very busy. People are very busy. That you are driving the best car. Nobody cares. Nobody comes to church to go to the garage to check the car you are driving. Nobody cares. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know about others, but honestly, I'm not watching. I'm busy. Why not save your money and take care of your children? Feed your children. Take care of your children. Meet your basic needs. Pay your bills. You're ordering clothes from everywhere. Nobody's watching you. Nobody. You're not a celebrity. Nobody's watching you. Focus on what matters to you. Focus on what matters. And let me say it again. Anything that is causing trouble between you and your spouse is not worth it. Put it by the side. Anybody that is putting pressure on you to do something that will be a problem in your marriage, that person is your real enemy. That person is your real enemy. I don't care who the person is. Anybody putting pressure on you, I don't even care if he's a pastor somewhere, putting pressure on you to send money to him, to send seed of faith to him, and you know that when you send that money, it's going to be a problem to your finance. Your wife has not permitted you to do it, and you want to remove that money to sow a seed. Your wife has not okayed it. Your husband has not permitted it. You are not wise, or you are not applying wisdom. You are not applying wisdom. Anything that will put pressure on your marriage is not worth it. Put it by the side. And I don't care who the prophet is that is asking you to send the money, asking you to sow a seed. Some people will even carry their car and give out without telling their spouse. Like you give out something without telling your spouse. Is it wrong to give to people? No. Is it wrong to do charity or to give to a church? No. But let your spouse know. You can't just give out something without your husband knowing or your wife knowing, and you know it's going to impact on the finance of the family. It don't work. That's not wisdom. It's foolishness. That's foolishness. Because your first priority after God, when I say God, I mean your personal relationship with God. Your first priority after your first relationship with God is your spouse. Before any church, before any ministry, before any man of God, before any prophet anywhere. So put things in their place and know your priorities. Stop putting pressure on yourself to have what you don't need. When it's time, you will have it. Apply wisdom. Save your marriage from home breakers. Because people will lie to you and put pressure on you, and you mess up your home. Apply wisdom. God bless you.